Hello and welcome to a belated episode of Lost in Minecraft. Luckily now everyone is feeling a lot better, so we can continue our adventure. As you can see, we are in the cave where we battled the 3 creepers. The waterfall is looking quite tempting just to have a bit of a swim up, see what we can see from up above. A bit of copper on the side there, not too interested in that. What we do seem to have, I think I spotted, it's behind us. There's a little, yeah, there we go, some more iron. Always useful to get, it looks quite easy to get to, so let's mine it out. Always a handy resource to have is more iron. That seems to be about it. Given the sort of narrow rock face we're on and the height, don't really want to push it too far. So we've gone up a bit further and over the ridge. Now we're looking south across the area that we've been already. Could be a bit tricky to go much higher, so have a quick look here. Didn't seem to be anything too major. No major landmarks or anything, so we'll take the waterfall back down, head to the coast and hop into our boat. See if we can't fill in a little bit more of our map. This is all cutting around the northern edge now of where we had been exploring. There's a funny little floating block we saw last time round. Even all the way out this far into the water, the sunlight changes slightly from the marshland nearby. Graphical glitch. Unfortunately the boat's going a little bit too quickly for the game to fully catch up with me. Some interesting rock strata there, marked out with the dirt blocks. Oh, a nice waterfall to take us up there if we ever decide to explore. Obviously if you are using the same realm, it's in the video descriptions that we put up. If you see something that I miss that you feel like exploring, go for it. If you uncover anything really cool, slap it in the comments. Yes, the game is definitely having a bit of a struggle today in keeping up. That's an interesting little island bit. It's a problem, sometimes you see sections of that in the distance, never quite sure whether it's a bit of a graphics glitch or whether the game has generally generated something as bizarre looking as that. This time around I think it is a bit of a glitch. So I think to give the game a bit of a chance to catch up, I'll take it a little bit closer to the mainland, hug the coast a bit, may have to consider going by foot for a little while. The way the game works is it's constantly generating as you go, so if you go too far too quick, it has to try to generate what it is you're seeing. It's not all automatically preloaded, which is why we get little glitches and errors like that. So heading overland on foot. Now we've got acacia trees, sort of a grasslands area. You can see we've got sort of a Highland cow style cow. Sort of yellowy chickens. Let's get a bit of height, see what we can find. big wet hole. Wonder if there's something we can do with that later on. Oh, we have gone off the top of the map for the moment. Hang on a minute. What do we have just to our right there? We have a village. Now this is a very big and very important find. Villages are very useful to us in the game. There can be interesting supplies about, various items that are difficult to get hold of, and of course it comes with plenty of villagers. With villagers we can trade, get different items, enchantments, but I think more importantly we can use them to create our trading hall. A trading hall is where we get large groups of villagers in one spot, and we use occupation blocks to give them jobs, and we can trade with them like that. So we've just come up onto the ridge overlooking the village. That's off to our right. We've got a bit of marshland down there, an interesting looking mountain off to the side of us. Little natural amphitheatre style thing there. So I think first of all we shall have a bit of a clear out, see what we've got up here. We've got some coal there. We have some acacia wood. Again, treated just like any other type of wood, but as you can see it has an interesting orangey, rusty red sort of colour to it, with darker bark. Right, so we've had our first night up at the top here, just making sure it's nice and safe. We set ourselves up a little camp. We've got our furnace, we've got our cartography table, crafting table, and we're using some of the items that we've got here. So we're smelting the iron. We've got to think about maybe making a bit more of a safety outpost. We're going to make ourselves a stone cutter, get some nice fancy looking stone bits available. Got some nice different coloured woods as well, so we can really make ourselves a nice fancy looking outpost up here. So we'll just harvest a bit more wood. As you can see, the acacia trees do grow in some interesting shapes. Makes making sure you've got them all a little bit tricky. We've got another big pool into a cave, and we've got some coal on the other side that looks a little bit risky to get. So we'll get some more sort of oak style wood. This right here is why you need to be careful when exploring. I very nearly fell down that big hole. Luckily there's water underneath, but I'm not 100% certain how we would get out the other side. So this is our little amphitheatre section. It's quite large, quite interesting setup. So now we've got our plain stone. We can smelt ourselves some iron. There you go, make ourselves some planks. Now we've got a large clump of granite here. So I do quite a sort of pinky hue to it. It makes a nice way to break up some of the grey. And we'll start to lay down some walls. I'm thinking maybe a bit of two-tone with the different woods. Let's get a nice sized area. That'll be our entrance way. Gaps, so we could put in some windows. This side will just wrap around completely, and then we'll get ourselves an axe, replace the one that broke earlier. We need some more sticks. We have some in one of our bundles. Handy little things they are. So make it nice and evenish along both sides. Don't have a nice big wide window, particularly at the moment. We're not quite sure what will be lurking outside whenever we step out the door. Make sure we recollect the planks that drop when we chop them back down. Planning going, it's very much making it up as I go along. As you can see, there's an idea, even if a generally quite a rough one. A little bit bigger than the one we did to secure the spawn point, but I think this one's going to see a bit more use. We've got quite a lot of area here to explore. We've got the village down below. Use the fence posts to nice little window sections. Missed one. You can see this is a fresh new day, the sun is rising. Fed. We head over to the other side. Get a bit more wood. There's a chicken over there. And so we'll just build up some more supplies. Help us finish off our hut. Always underneath the trees, got to make sure we're keeping our eyes open in case there's any wandering monsters. Zombies and skeletons in the shade of the trees will not burn up in the sunlight. We got through it without too much issue. So now we're going to set about making the roof section. As you can see, I didn't quite like how it was starting. I'm going to make a log cabin style, so I'll have nice big logs going across the top supporting the roof. Doesn't really add any functionality to the build. But it gives it a nice bit of styling. So I mean, technically, if you didn't want anything too fancy, you could just make yourself a nice big block out of dirt, and that would equally well suffice. And this next middle one a bit raised up. So we can stack up a bit of dirt and it'll continue from there, as unlike some bits, it's not a gravity block. As you can see, I've broken the rule that I mentioned when making the spawn base, where I didn't really pay attention to how many blocks we were building on. So we've ended up using an even number, so the doorway is a bit offset, the middle bar was a bit offset. I've doubled it up and wasn't entirely keen on it, so we'll just expand the walls out a bit. Just fill out this bit and knock it in from the inside. See, just put down a few dirt blocks inside so we can build up, climb over things, get to where we need to be. Because we're expanding out, we need to move this row of logs across a bit. Now we've got a new day. The dog barking in the background. So we'll craft ourselves some more planks, make some stair sections, and we'll use that to make our roof. We can get quite an interesting little setup going. Such a wide area to spread. As you can see, still having fun and games, making sure that stairs are being placed properly. Just matching it up, trying to make sure it's the same on both sides. I'm using the shield crouch move to get as far across as possible when placing them down, jumping on the spot and putting them down. Makes it nice and easy and straightforward. Just about got the knack of it, I think. No, we don't. Just trying to decide how best to fill this little bit. Make some more stairs now. That's not the way we do it. We're going to need quite a few to finish off this section. Here we go, just coming along to the end. Quite nice on the inside. We'll get rid of that dirt block we've used for climbing. I'm just trying to work out how best to fill this last little gap. Now we can push that wall back. Gives us back some fence panels and plenty of planks. Now you can see the entrance is nice and symmetrical, everything looking good. I'm quite happy with that now. Going to use some slabs. Oh, hello Mr. Llama. Some slabs across the top where that central log is. Again, just to the last extra little bit of height. You get a little bit of colour difference, makes it fit quite nicely in the area. Now we've just got to light it up, keep it lit, keep it safe. Because it's technically a bottom slab, you cannot put a torch directly on top of it. So we'll add another slab on top, both ends, to make it equivalent to a single block. Count through, put one in the middle. And now we can put some torches on top. I don't think that looks too bad. Just need to decide what to do with all of our windows. I think what we might see about doing for these bottom ones, getting some glass. So for glass, we're going to need to get ourselves some sand. And we'll put the panels in up at the top there. Oh, I think it looks quite nice. Make sure we've got enough to cover the other side. Fantastic. Misplaced that one. Tripped over the bed. Bit off centre for the time being. But there we go. So, as I was saying about getting some glass, so we just dig up a bit of sand, break the blocks too close to the water will flow into this area. And it'll push you around and be generally a bit of a pain. So I'm keeping a little bit of a barrier just to keep going. And we'll get some copper as well. I have some plans for that. Put a chunk of the sand into the furnace. A bit of a tidy up. Now when you have glass blocks, you can break them down into glass panes. Don't quite have enough yet. It's still red at the bottom there you go. I need another 3. Which is nearly there. Bring that copper through now. Get our glass panes. And we can pop them in. Again, you can use glass blocks. Looks just as nice. But I like the way that the pane sort of sits in the middle of the block like that. Take our copper, make ourselves a copper door. We need 1 more copper ingot, 6 in total, which will give us 3 doors. We're only going to use the one for the time being, but they come as a set. There we go. Wrong one again. Have a bit of a tidy up. Some more sticks, some more planks. Get a gate and some more fences. Make a nice little secure area at the front. Also, we know we can be nice and confident that we're not going to step out of our front door straight into a creeper or a zombie or something. Skeletons could still pose a bit of an issue. They can shoot at us with their bows. A couple of little gaps to put our gates in. Light it up. Tidy up the garden. Now we just did a bit of mining in the area, just replenishing some of our stock. I initially missed it, but there we have some emeralds. That is the in-game currency for wandering traders, villagers. It is a very useful little find. You don't get many of them in the wild in my experience. Finding one there was quite a find, just having a further little dig around just in case. So there's another very nice little discovery on this leg of our adventure. So we discovered the village down below. Plenty of materials, plenty of resources in the area. Right down to finding some emeralds. So with that away nice and safe. Smelt some more cobblestone, get yourself some smooth stone, or some regular stone. You then smelt again for smooth stone. But we won't be doing that just yet. We're preparing a few bits of resources for heading down into the village. I don't like heading into villages unprepared, just in case it encourages bad guys to spawn in and attack the villagers. I've seen that happen in the past. We don't really want it to happen here. So we need to make sure that we'll be able to secure the village and keep its residents nice and safe. One last little bit I want to do to the house, as this is recorded a little bit later on in the adventure, so don't worry if some of the materials and things look a bit unusual, but you can break down a iron ingot into iron nuggets, and 9 nuggets with a torch makes a lantern. It's just a nice little addition. Again, it lights the place up. It looks a little bit nicer than just having torches dotted all over the place. And there we have it for this next little leg of an adventure. We now have a secure foothold in the area on which we can continue on from. So, thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed seeing the discoveries, the base coming along. We will have further adventures into the village, see what lies within. There is also a new copper-based expansion that has come out, so we shall have a good look at that in the future, with the possibility of really making ourselves a good solid base in the area. So thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, leave a comment below, and I will look forward to seeing you on the next adventure.